Hey everyone, welcome back to another war video. This one, war number 9 of season 41 for Loki taking on SGA. You can see I do not have Apoc. I have Thing, Spider-Man 2099, and White Magneto for the pre-fights. He doesn't get any fights, but the other two will, so let's jump right in. I am back on path 1, and I will be using Thing here for this White Magneto. Thing is a global attacker, so this node is basically the personal space regen node, so you can get a lot of White Magneto can get a lot of buffs between his prowess, the flourish from the defense node, and then the regens themselves. So it's good to have an attacker who can deal with all that, and Thing, being a global attacker, can neutralize on his basic hits, and then also, if I throw any specials, can fate seal. So really the big thing is you want to make sure to try to keep up as many neutralizes as possible so that he's not getting any buffs, and then able to really kind of keep this fight in check. You can see there, I throw the special 2 because I wasn't getting particularly good neutralized luck, so I threw the special 2 to fate seal. There I parry the special just to get the rock stacks back up. So Thing, very safe attacker, especially to block specials in war, because they hit pretty hard with the attack boosts, and Thing able to proc his protection even through the block. So this point, just trying to slowly but surely whittle him down. White Magneto's special 2 is a lot easier than his special 1 because of the it's basically the same one as Red Magneto's special 1, so I like pushing him there if I can, especially with Thing. If he throws his special 1, which is that beam, that's that one right there, I just sit there and block it in war because it's just not worth the risk. But there you can see, throw the special 1, and that's it for that fight. So Thing able to handle that pretty well, nothing too crazy. Next fight on the path is going to be this Mojo. I'll be using Spider-Man 2099. I turn off Dex for this fight, not for this fight, but actually for the next fight. Spider-Man 2099 actually does not need the Dexterity Mastery. He has a base ability where he's always able to effectively Dex, even if he does not have the Dexterity Mastery activated. So reason being, and I'll get into it a little bit more in the next fight, which is Rintrah, is there's a weird interaction there. But here on this fight, this is just standard masochism. I put on a White Magneto pre-fight so I can parry freely, and then I just really have to kind of keep in mind when I put the ruptures on or anything along those lines, so that I can make sure to play around the masochism. So I want to get up to the special 2 here while masochism is on cooldown. You can see now I have the wither, so now it's going to be a little bit easier to apply those ruptures to 1, manage the masochism, and 2, do a little bit more damage. You can see I didn't bring anti-venom here for Spider-Man 2099 to start with withers, but honestly the fights that I brought him for Spider-Man 4, it wouldn't have made any difference because the masochism or conflictor, preview upcoming attractions, would have just eaten the wither to start. But you can see Spider-Man 2099 easily able to handle that Mojo. But here, like I said earlier, I'm using Spider-Man 2099 for this Rintrah. I turned Dex off because of the neutralize interaction with Rintrah, where you can still potentially give him a power gain buff. So here I do use a power start 1, and I have science boosts on, so I am trying to keep strike counter into consideration here. Here I mistimed the masochism a little bit because here I want to not give him any furies, but I had to hit him once to put the masochism back on cooldown so that I can then put the wither on. So now I have the wither on, and now I just need to make sure that I'm keeping it paused, and I also want to keep him out of the corner if he gets his mystical charges too high. So in perfect me fashion, I'm not doing a great job of keeping the wither paused. It's currently paused, but I'm not doing the best job. It's about to run out, and there it goes. Like I said, this is just kind of par for the course for me, and that does make this fight significantly more difficult, because part of the reason why getting the wither on is so good is Spider-Man's SIG ability gives him increased power rate when the wither's on. So you can also see he threw a special 2 there. He has a few furies on. I did just decide to block it. It did hit pretty hard even through the block. So he is stacking up a decent amount of furies. but I am, slowly but surely whittling him down. I am, constantly kind of procking masochism, and I'm not doing a great job of putting enough debuffs on to where, I have max despair, so I should be able to kind of not, you can't reverse it, but at least kind of cancel it out a little bit. But there, I throw another big special too, which certainly helps. That's really been where most of my damage has come from, is throwing those special twos. Rintrah staying aggressive enough where I'm not doing a great job of hitting his block and really stacking up those ruptures. But here, I throw another special two, and that's that for Rintrah. So definitely not a perfect Spider-Man 2099 fight, but he's good enough that he is able to get through it anyway. So next fight for me is going to be Venom on path 3 in section 2. So this is the static armor, glancing armor stuff. So basically, if he has an armor up buff, I glance my attacks and I get a shock debuff applied to me. So Thing, shock immune, Thing, a global attacker, so he's able to deal with this node very well. Basically, my plan here is to, one, kind of hope that the neutralize stays on and removes any armors before they even get there, but two, don't throw any specials until he has an armor buff on. I don't care about Venom's other buffs, except for the Flourish, obviously. You want to kind of keep them in check, which is easy just by hitting his block. But any of his other buffs, even the physical resistance can be annoying, but as long as he doesn't have the armor, it'll be fine, and I'll be able to just not glance. But as soon as he gets an armor, like right there, now I want to get rid of it. So here I do parry first to get up to 15 rock stacks so that I'm able to convert those into the Fury. And then I throw my special to make sure to get rid of the armor up. With Venom, I want to keep him at special 1 if possible, just because his special 1 is very easy. His special 2 can be very punishing. I also just do not want to dodge the special 2. It's just not worth it in war. You need to get the spacing exactly right. And, I definitely have, especially with Thing, with his ability to just, tank hits. I just sit there, block the first couple hits, and then you have the ability to dodge back when he throws his tentacles like you saw there. So you can see, the fight, it's moving a little slow, but it's moving. That's the thing about Thing. He's not exactly always the fastest champion, but he's normally very safe. So here I parry heavy into my special 3 when I have 20 rock stacks on. So now I will be able to get the big Fury. This is where Thing can ramp up his damage pretty quickly, especially for war purposes. So, this is, but I did push him up to his special 2, so especially while I'm unstoppable, I'm not really too worried about it, but, you can see from there one last combo, and that'll do it for Venom. So next fight for me is going to be my last fight of the war. It's going to be Longshot here on Conflictor. Longshot is really, really annoying on this node. He requires a perfect counter, and really it's either Human Torch to Flame on, and after that, it's got to be one of the buff immunes. But in terms of the buff immunes, a lot of them are very debuff reliant. So it's not always the easiest to do a Conflictor fight on a champion that really relies on debuffs. So Spider-Man 2099, probably the best of the bunch. Here, now that Conflictor's on cooldown, I want to throw my special 2. So I do get that off in time before Conflictor goes back. So now at this point, if I do trigger Conflictor again, it will reverse the power gain because I have the Wither and a bunch of exhaustions on. So basically to start the fight, I wanted to, I had a White Magneto pre-fight, so I wanted to parry, and then I would light heavy, because with the White Magneto pre-fight, I had enough time. I think you have enough time to medium heavy, but I'm always a little wary of that in war. I know that you technically do, but I light heavy because it's a little quicker, so that way I'm eating up the Conflictor, and also putting on the exhaustions, which are able to help deal with the power gain itself. So you can see here I'm doing a much better job of keeping my debuffs paused. The Wither is ticking down a little bit, but here I do kind of ignore the Deja Vu node and go into a special 2. He then throws his heavy, and I am able to KO him from there. So 5 fights in that war. That gets me to 49 on the season. A streak now of 95, so we'll see what happens in the next one. In terms of the war itself, we did drop this one, very close war, but we do drop to 4 and 5 on the season. We are in first place in Platinum 1, but we do drop right outside of Masters. Hopefully we can get back into that Masters placing in the last week of the season. But that will do it for this one. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see everyone soon.